Hi, and welcome to the first video in our series on psychosocial hazards. My name is Michael Terry, I'm from Momentum Safety and Ergonomics, and this is the 5-Minute Safety Series. So far in the 5-Minute Safety Series, we've mainly dealt with physical workplace hazards. Today we're going to be looking at psychosocial hazards, and we're going to be doing this as a series, so we can give this important topic the appropriate attention that I think it deserves. My aim in these videos is to be obviously to help us with the understanding of these hazards, but also take maybe some of the fear out of it for some of you in regards to managing these hazards. And we're going to be doing that using our familiar risk management approach. In this first video, we're going to be introducing the topic and having a look at why psychosocial hazards seem to be so prominent in health and safety circles today. So let's jump straight in. And we'll start off with the obvious question of what are psychosocial hazards? And we're going to be using our familiar risk management approach here. We're going to be using the definition of a hazard, and that is something that has the potential to cause harm. And that's exactly the same as it is in physical hazards, as it is in psychosocial hazards. It's just that the potential for harm, or the harm, is psychological, not physical. And if we look at the definition from the Queensland Code of Practice, we can see that that very much reflects this approach of the potential for psychological harm. Now, are psychosocial hazards new? We're hearing a lot more about them all of a sudden, but of course the answer to that is absolutely not. People will have been suffering psychological impacts from their workplaces ever since work began. So they're not new at all. Certainly when I started health and safety some years ago, we still were managing psychosocial hazards, but there was no explicit requirement. That all started to change around 2018 with a review from Safe Work Australia into health and safety legislation, which became called the Boland Report. And from that sprang out lots of guidance material, new regulations, new codes of practice, model codes of practice, and obviously from that the states were able to adopt their new regulations and codes. So now we have explicit requirements to manage these hazards, but also a lot more guidance. So I think it's a much better position that we find ourselves in. Now, are psychosocial hazards really a problem in the workplace? Now, every workplace is different, of course, and they're not going to be a problem in all workplaces. But if we have a look across industry, we can see that yes, there are certainly problems with psychosocial hazards and things we need to deal with. Now, if we look at this report from Safe Work Australia, we can see that mental health conditions account for quite a high proportion of what we call serious claims. Now, a serious claim is a claim that goes for more than a week. Now, that proportion is 9.3% at the moment. That's on the way up. It's up from 6.2%. There are hazard types that are much higher than that. So we could talk about body stressing and sort of manual tasks and those sorts of things, which the proportion is much higher. But if we look at something like claim duration, 30.7 weeks, that's significantly higher than physical hazards, which are at 6.2%. Now, all of a sudden, you've got a worker who's off work for more than half a year. That is going to have a massive impact on a workplace, and you can see that the dollar value is quite high as well. So these claims are happening, and they are really impactful type claims when they do happen. So absolutely, we do need to manage these as best we can. So what are we sort of looking at next? I guess we're going to help understanding these hazards a little bit more. But we are going to have a bit of a look and see whether this is going to be an important thing for your workplace to deal with. It's not going to be, every workplace doesn't have to do major psychosocial risk assessments, but we want to have a look at what are some of the signs of those. Now, I look forward to seeing you again next time for the next part of our psychosocial hazard series in the 5-Minute Safety Series.